everybody, Justin Sirois reading from his novel Falcons on the Floor.
That was great. I would rather just do that than read. You're not better than Charlie Rose, but I would watch you. So I want to thank Ed and Al for reading. That was awesome. What a greatly curated event. You know, I was talking to Bob about that, and subject matter-wise, rhythm-wise, it all came together. Age-wise, there's no women up here, but we'll take care of that later. I don't know what that meant. Come on, Barry! But to give you a little more exposition on this piece, Salim and Khalil, they're both relatively involved, like kind of remotely involved with the uprising. I don't like to say insurgency because that kind of makes it partisan. Salim, he's a graphic designer for the uprising, and he feels super guilty about it. You know, like he's a talented guy, he can do pretty basic design, and people find out about it and they use him, and they give him a laptop, and he really wants a fucking laptop and internet access so he can be a normal 20-something-year-old. Khalil, his friend, he plants IEDs, which is a little more complicated than owning a laptop. So the sort of like right before they leave the town, they're dropping off a disc of graphic design files, like propaganda leaflets, to their boss, and they get roped into taking this truck to a hot zone because the seat is really starting to like warm up, and they decide to take the truck somewhere else other than the battle. Salim handed Khalil his rifle and hid his face under his arm, sucking back tears. They stepped away from the gray office windows where they couldn't be seen, tripping down the block towards the truck. Khalil worked the action of Salim's Kalashnikov until the useless lever snapped backwards and locked there, jammed. Ejecting the magazine, he tossed the rifle into the truck's bed and spat. "Chinese junk," he cursed. In the short time they'd been in the office, the streets had filled with even more wanderers. Every class of person was lost in the confusion. Men in wrinkled slacks, foundry workers and carpenters still in their uniforms, all of them wondering if they should evacuate their families. The wounded who had tried to flee only found the journey too miserable. They staggered like zombies, stunned by the velocity of the encroaching forces. They had walked back to the marketplace and the mosque turned hospital. The Jolan, with its cramped storefronts and tenements stacked high, was the safest district in the city. Rugs lined the sidewalks at the margins of the mosque. The injured lay or sat shirtless with water jugs and bandages. Peering from under his arm, Salim could imagine the relationships of the people, mothers and sisters and wives, by the way they swarmed loved ones, fanning exposed shoulders and removing shoes, swabbing foreheads in the boiling sun. Well, like boiling sun, it says hot sun. You know how you just kind of fucking make shit up? People knelt and prayed, bowing and kneeling with fingers to lips. They rocked forward in unison with their cousins beside them and their aunts behind them in the powdery light. They sipped the sour wind and the chemical soot within it. Khalil slapped the truck's roof. "I should have killed that Khalib fuck right there. Bang," he yelled, punching the jaundiced metal of the truck until his knuckles were ready to split. Sitting on the bumper, Khalil looked at the paint and realized it was a captured police vehicle. Someone had spray painted an identification number on the back. One of the doors was blue, but the rest of it was white. "Man, this truck is a mess," Khalil said. Nodding, Salim turned and marveled at the smashed window and webbed cracked windshield. 3 bullet holes the size of walnuts on the driver's side, with larger holes punched in the passenger's door. Through the one remaining window, he could see a pair of blood-soaked sweatpants balled on the bench seat. Dark red swirls smeared the vinyl upholstery like smashed date juice. Salim turned his head away from the reeking mess. The truck must have been sitting in the sun for hours. Sliding off the bumper, Khalil found the door unlocked. "Get in the truck, Sal." "No way," Salim said. "Just get in," Khalil said, using the muzzle of his rifle using the muzzle of his rifle to hook the pants and fling them into the street. "Don't worry." Flies blended in the stench. He swatted them and used a rag on the floor to clean Salim's side and wipe down the steering wheel, clutch, and door handles. Flecks on the ceiling would have to be ignored. When the rag was drenched, he found a t-shirt crammed in the glove box and sponged the vinyl seats. "I'm not getting in there," Salim said through the glass. "I'll get you to the river. This'll be faster. We have to move it anyway, or he'll know we ditched." "No," Salim said. "It's really not that bad. I've seen worse, believe me," Khalil said. "I'll just walk. You take the truck." "It'll be safer," Khalil said. Huffing, Salim opened the door and stood with his arm braced on the frame. "It smells like piss." "Because someone died in here, get in," Khalil said. "It looks like 15 people died in here," Salim said. Jumping in, Khalil bounced on the worn seat, popping the shift to park and cranked the key. Surprise flushed his face when the engine hiccuped and turned. "Come on, when was the last time we drove around together?" "We've never driven together." "And in a war zone, we'll never have this opportunity again. It'll be an adventure," he said with a smile so wide it hid his eyes. "How quickly do you want to find the internet?" "I'm not finding the internet," Salim coughed into his bent arm, snorting in clear air over his shoulder. He wasn't sure if Khalil was impervious to the stench or if he was just trying to be tough. "Sal, let's get out of here," Khalil smacked the dashboard. "This is gross, man." "Yeah," Khalil admitted, uncurling his tongue, scrunching his nose. Unidentifiable whiteness clogged the heating vents. "It's pretty gross." People with carts passed them carrying the battle-weary and slain fighters, stopping at the entrance of the mosque where the archways began to resemble frowning mouths. Also, Salim hadn't seen so many dogs in his life, rib-bare and curious hounds scrounging with noses low. 2 helicopters circled the marketplace, then hurried away towards the explosions erupting steadily from the east. Their cleaving propellers left the square swirling with sand like powdered leaves in tea water. People scrambled to shield their half-naked loved ones, susceptible to infection. Night would be worse. The poor would be blind in the The poor would be blind in the blanket black and powerless against infrared scope. Salim knew it was coming. They were wasting too much time. "Seat's not getting any cleaner," Khalil admitted. "Time to go." Salim slid in. It's really hard to show you the dialogue, but Salim slid in, holding his backpack, so overly filled it touched the glove box. A raggedy pelt stretched across the dashboard like a gutted teddy bear. Clumps of its brown fur were matted with blood, and an air freshener was caught in one of the congealed pools. Come on, Khalil said, wrapping his fingers around the tacky steering wheel, the brake pedal slippery with each tap. He opened his door and, pinching a dry patch of the felt, flung it into the road. Salim closed his eyes. He leaned and vomited out the window. He tried to curse through the spasms, but he was overcome with heaving. "Man, you carsick, Sal?" Khalil laughed. "We haven't even started moving yet." Salim waved Khalil away and vomited again, hugging his backpack like a floating device. He cleared his throat, pointing his free finger forward, rasping, "Go." That's it. Two quick things. I want to thank Adam because this manuscript was a little rough and you got it, and you made it into something awesome. So I've been giving you shouts out all throughout book tour, and this is the one you're actually hearing for once. You might hear a couple on YouTube. Thank you. Like, I'm serious. Thank you so much. And we really didn't mention Haneen, who is vital to this project. Haneen El-Shajari. Long story short, a lot of you guys have heard this before. She fled Baghdad in '03. She's currently living in Cairo, not having a great time right now, but she was my editor and consultant on the entire manuscript. So without her, this wouldn't be possible. Third thing, the Iraqi Student Project is right there in the corner. So if you give to the Crown, my third is going directly to them. You can buy stickers, buttons, and t-shirts. All that is going to them. They do amazing work. They rescue kids from Iraq, bring them here to study, and prepare them to rebuild a country that we fucking destroyed. So give them some cash. Thank you guys.